If you put a finger on my sister, guaranteed your head pop, pop, pop just like blister. I might smile and grin, but trust me, darling, when it comes to...
What's good to my beautiful people there, and welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. It's your girl Mrs. and I'm back with another video. Today I've got a very exciting video. I'm going to be testing out quite a lot of eyeshadow palettes in one video, potentially. So as you can see by the title, I'm going to be trying out the new Essence Revolution Flex palette, which they came up with 8 stories in total, and they only retails for £8, which I think is quite affordable, especially the fact that Essence Revolution is more the bougie, more expensive outlet. So I have decided to pick up 4 of them in total. I am going to challenge myself, and I've decided to do a series and create a look using each palette. Now I could pretty much create a look using all the shades from all the palettes into one look, so this might be a little bit long-winded than usual, but hopefully, you know, this is something that you guys can enjoy. So before starting off with any sort of eyeshadows, just for reference, if anyone's curious what's on my face, but I do have the Revolution Conceal and Hydrate Foundation. This is actually the shade F16.5. I used the Infinite Concealer in the shade C13, my Heart Revolution powder in the shade Chocolate Banana. For bronzer, I used the Mega Bronzer in the shade Dark. And for blush, if you guys saw my most recent video, the one showing off Relove from Makeup Revolution, I was sent the blush duo again because my highlighter was broken. This is the baby one, so I used that blush and also this highlighter. And yeah, that is pretty much what I've got on my face. So I'm going to be using the same makeup in all the other looks. Obviously I'm going to be changing up my lip combo and all that goodness, but anyway, let's get into the eyeshadow palette. So I did find it difficult which one I should start off, but thank you to you guys, was I put a poll on my Instagram. If you don't follow me, it's missy.sids, and also my YouTube community tab. And funny enough, I was really surprised, but it was a close tie between the brown palette, which is Heartless, and the pink one. So I think I'm just gonna go in order now of which one was ranked the highest to the lowest. So the highest one on both on YouTube and Instagram was the Heartless palette, which is the brown one. So the palette comes in this really nice croc design, quite compact and thick. They all have the Essence Revolution embossed, but depending how shiny or the finished material of the packaging, you may see it or may not. Like this one, you definitely won't be able to see it. And this, my love, is what the shade looks like inside. So obviously you guys know I love me neutrals, browns and golds. I wanted to get the story called Dynamite, and that one was a little bit more orange, but I realized that palette only had 1 matte shade. This one has 2 mattes. I still feel like that's not enough. Those are the swatches from the palette. I'm actually really impressed of the formula and the pigmentation. That gold one is definitely more pigmented than the other shimmers, but they look really nice. Love the color story. This story makes sense to me, and I really like those colors and those tones, the undertones. Really impressed. I am going to use the same primer, which is the Revolution Ultimate Eye Base Primer in the shade Light. By the way, I'm not doing no Thunderbolt, I'm not doing no butterflies effects, I'm not doing no graphic this. Like, I'm literally doing basic wearable eye looks because that's all I know how to do. I ain't no artist, so disclaimer. Go in with the darkest shade here, which is this one, which is this one there. The brush I'm using is the Morphe M412 brush. I'm actually going to do both eyes on camera. Now, I don't have patience to do all the blending and whatever on camera, so I do personally sketch out what I'm doing first and do a little bit of blending, but then I will do my application properly off camera because I'm just lazy like that. And yeah, so now I'm going to use a different blending brush, and I'm going to go into brown shade here. Well, it's kind of like an orangey shade. Yeah, it's like a deep warm orange tone. Also going to apply that more in my crease area. Ooh, I actually really like that shade. Okay, so that's what we got going on with a clean fluffy brush, just to make it more seamless. Now, I personally like to raise my eyebrows like this because you see I've got a lot of space between that area, so I like to raise my eyebrows. I know I look very red by doing this, but this is something that I've actually started to learn as I'm going along with playing with eyeshadows. Okay, so these are my semi-cut creases, kind of ish. So we're gonna play with a little bit of shimmers. So I think I'm gonna go quite warm tone. So I'm not gonna use that yellow gold, which is the one here. Yeah, so I'm gonna actually use a brush because I want to see how they apply with brushes. And this one is from Beauty Bay and it's the gold shader. No, OG shader. Shame, is that what it's called all the time? So I'm gonna go into this one. In terms of how they feel quite soft, not putty, but soft. Here. Ooh. Excuse me? Oh yeah. Yeah. That's nice. No hassle as well with a brush. Go on, Revolution. I'm really tempted to put a black on my outer V, you know, just to make it a little bit smoky. But I'm trying not to use a complementary palette. I'm trying to do like a look using one palette, but I'm very tempted. And a more smaller smudger shading brush. This is from EIG Show. I'm gonna go in, which shade is that though? Down here. It's up quite nice as well. Formula feels the same. She's there. She's saying, hey girl. Don't know if you're gonna see the two tones on camera, because I know sometimes the lighting can throw it off, but I could definitely see on myself it's two shades, but it's subtle, it's like nice and blended, and that's what I like. On again, the small sort of taper brush from Morphe, I'm gonna use the dark brown and run up around my lower lash line. And then I'm gonna go with the orangey matte shade and use that more in my inner corner. Okay, so these are the eyes. So I'm gonna like neaten them up, gonna add some lashes, gonna look presentable, gonna pick out a lipstick, and then we can complete the look so we can get a good vibe. Okay guys, so I'm just gonna give you guys a little bit of warning. I'm probably gonna be wearing bananas throughout this whole video because I'm gonna be switching up my hair depending what look I'm gonna do, and laying down a lace wig like after every look is just gonna be long, especially in one day. But this is the eyes. This is what I've got going on. I used the 5D mascara from Revolution for my lower lash line and the kohl liner from Relove by Revolution. Lashes I've got on is the Eyelaw in collaboration with the Plastic Boy in the style Bad and Bougie. And this is what I got going on, girl. So I'm gonna use the Morphe lip liner in the shade Trendsetter. And I haven't used this for a while, so I'm gonna use the Share Brilliant lip gloss, but this is in the shade Head Turner. This is the final look using the Heartless palette. Very simple, very easy. You can't really go wrong with a brown outer V and golds on the eyes, girl. Like, you can't go wrong, and I think it looks so flattering on like dark skin. Very gorgeous. I really like this palette. I'm very impressed with the formulas. They're swatched beautifully, they're applied beautifully. I would say that the darkest brown was a little bit more, it just had a little bit more fallout in comparison to the other matte shades. I love the different tones of golds because you can tell they're all different shades of golds, which I really do like. Only thing I would probably say that I would prefer if there was 3 mattes and 3 shimmers. You can't really do too much with just 2 mattes, in my personal opinion anyway. And for deep dark skin, it will be a cute palette, but you would definitely probably need another palette to complement, especially if you want like a smoky outer V, more depth, you know. So this does have some depth and some warmth. Yeah, I actually really like it. So this one has the Sidas approval. So we're on to the next one. Same base, reapplied my primer. I actually went a little bit more heavier with the primer because the next palette we're going to test out was the second most requested one to try out, and it is the Britney palette, which is the pink one. So the packaging is exactly the same, but this one's got more of the shiny material. Not just sure if you can see it, and you would definitely see it more that it has the XX Revolution embossed there. The color story of Britney. So this is what she looks like. So it's got all your pink tones. So these are the swatches from the palette. These two swatch beautifully, very pigmented. The ones that looks like duochromes, like these two, they were more hardly pressed. Let's apply like 2 swatches just to show you guys the pigmentation. That one, that shimmer was a little bit shy, and this one's definitely a matte. So it's definitely got 3 mattes and 3 shimmers, and that's what it looks like. So they didn't swatch the best as the Heartless Brown palette did. Swatched much better than this one. But we're going to see if we can create a little bit of something with Britney, girl. Now, I'm really scared to do halo eyes on my eye shapes because sometimes I get a little bit too carried away and carry the halo all the way up to my brows. So as much as I do love a halo eye, I'm not the best of doing a halo eye, but I feel like I want to do a halo eye. So I'm gonna go into the darkest shade, which is this one, and it's like a fuchsia pink. Ooh, okay. Okay, that's where the shades are pat, so now I'm just gonna slightly just blend them. And I like this type of brush because it's quite fluffy but then tapered at the same time. I feel like I've just got a little bit more control, because if I use a blending brush, I would just like blend it way too high. That pink shade has blended out really, really nicely, and I like the fact that you can still see the color on my skin tone. So on a small little fluffy brush, I'm gonna go into the second deepest shade, which is this one, which is that second pink, and I'm going to use this to blend out the edges on top. And then once again, I'm just going to use a fluffy brush just to blend this even more. I might go in with like a foundation powder, only because obviously I've got all this space, and I feel like when I leave it bare, it just looks really weird. Just another disclaimer, not only I have dry skin, I also have eczema, so I do see a little piece of like my skin like gathering and clinging onto my makeup. So if you do see that throughout this video, just please excuse that. Like, the girl's just got skin issues, okay? That's the story of my life. I'm going to use the Relove by Revolution. This is the super matte powder in the shade dark. So I'm just going to use it on like a very long tapered fluffy brush by EIG Show. And this is where I'm just going to blend that as well up to my brows. Now to apply a shimmer in the little window, little gap that I have left. So these two shades have more of that duochrome effect. And then that shade is just like a standard shimmer. Hopefully you can see that. So I think I'm going to use violet lilac colour. Not too sure if it looks really washed out on camera, but I'm going to use that in the outer portion, and then I'm going to use this shade more in the inner portion. Now, because they're hardly pressed, I'm going to have to scrape it a little bit so I can get something on my brush, girl. A pretty shade, but she's not really giving me the oomph. And then the more I apply, the more it's like crumbling on my eyelids, and especially where I've got wrinkly eyelids and loads of folds, it then doesn't look pretty. So this standard shimmer shades on my brow bone, which is this one, and I might top it off with one of those other duochromes. I'm just gonna add, let me see, don't know if it's gonna be a little bit too dark to go there. Yeah, I do like that shade. I feel like it just gives it a little something. I love inner corners, but for some reason whenever I put a glitter in my inner tear ducts, my eyes start to water. So if that happens, just allow me. Probably this shade. For the lower lash line, I'm gonna go in once again the two darkest mattes in the palette. So the darkest one on the outer V, and then the lightest one more in the inner corner. I don't know what lip combo I'm gonna do with this look, but I actually want to do pink. I actually just want to go really crazy with it and do pink. Okay, so these other eyes semi done, and it's okay. Let me just, I think once we get the lashes, once again, do the lip, whatever, we're going to be feeling a little bit better. So, okay, so the eyes are done. Obviously, I'm looking like a baby Barbie. I'm literally looking like a Barbie right now. Use the same mascara, the 5D mascara from Revolution, the same eyeliner. A little joke, the lashes that I'm wearing is from Britney White Makeup. And these are the style Britney. You get it? Like, Britney, perfect. So I went a little bit of a view with the lashes, girl, but I thought, let me just bring out Britney to play with Britney. I got the shade Bubblegum Binge, and I got the shade Cupcake in. So this might be a little bit too much, yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I'm not even gonna pretend, but let's just see anyway. That was the Morphe lip liner in the shade Trendsetter, by the way. Let's go for Bubblegum Binge. It's not too bad, right? Especially with the brown lip liner. So this is look number 2 using the Britney palette, and remember her, you know, pink and all up in your business. I actually do, now it's funny, right, because I'm not a pink girl. Like, I like the look of pinks and purples and all those pretty colours, but realistically when it comes to makeup, pink is like the last thing I would ever put on my eyes unless I'm trying to achieve a particular look. So I don't know what possessed me to even get this in the first place, but I like the look of her and then I picked it up. that's how she ended up in my house. I think I'm slightly feeling the halo. She is pretty, she's very girly. I do like the color story. I do like the fact that this one has 3 mattes, even though this one is probably just going to be like a lid shade for me and my skin tone. But if you're obviously lighter and paler, then obviously you can do what you want to do, girl. The shimmers are beautiful, but I just don't like the formulas. I wish they were the same formulas as the Heartless one, but because these are hardly pressed, you have to scrape it to get like some sort of pigmentation. If you keep applying this shade, she gets a little bit crumbly and like starts to stick to like your eyelids, depending on what type of eyelids that you have. That's the only downer. I'm very impressed with this deep shade. I'm really impressed how it appeared on my skin tone. But yeah, the shimmers just let me down slightly. Okay guys, so reapply the makeup, reapply the base. Let's get down to the third palette. So the third runner-up palette on YouTube and on Instagram was the green one, and it's Billie. So the blue one's the last one, guys. Very surprised, but maybe not surprised. However, we're going to try at Billie, and this is what the packaging looks like. So obviously same packaging as all the others, but this one has more of the shinier effect, as you could probably see in the reflection. And this is what the shade looks like. So you've got your mixture of greens, mattes and shimmers. Okay, so these are all the swatches of the palette, and they swatch quite nicely, to be fair. I really love the fact they've got this duochrome shimmer shade in the palette. I think it complements the palette really well. Love this green shimmer as well. I just wish like they didn't put this white shade. Kind of understand it, but I don't know, for a green palette, I just want all greens. So now swatching them, I actually honestly don't know what I'm actually going to do. I'm going to go in with the darkest matte green, which is this one. I don't know if I should do a halo, because I want this look to be a wearable look, you see, so I don't know. No, for the darkest matte colour, I'm not really happy about that. I think I'm gonna drag this up a little bit. You know what, I just realised I actually wanted to wear my brown wig when I was doing the brown look with the Heartless Neutral palette, just to go with all the browns, but I actually completely forgot now. Sure. Okay, so that's the darkest matte green. It's a little bit powdery, but it applies quite nicely. So I'm just gonna go into this one. It does go with that green, like the first green that I've applied, nicely as well. So it does complement that green. So I'm just gonna use a clean fluffy brush just to blend around the edges. Yeah, so I'll probably blend that out a little bit more, but that's what we've got going on with the eyes. I'm probably not even gonna do a cut crease, so I'm just gonna go straight into the shimmer shade. Yeah, there is a lot of kickback with both of those shades. I don't know, something's telling me just to use this one all over the lids to see how it applies with just the brush. If not, then I'll obviously use my finger. And let me just see. Ooh, okay. That's the shimmer shade, but the only thing is, I feel like this will look better on top of a base, only because I don't know if it's the formula. You can still see my natural skin peeking through the shimmer shade. You know what? I think I'm actually going to use a little bit of that dark shimmer, because maybe it would give me an illusion of like a darker outer V. So I'm going to use that dark forest green shimmer and just use it right on the edges to marry the matte and this duochrome shade. Yeah, I think I actually like that. I don't know if you guys can see a difference. I know it looks really messy at the moment, but I do like the effect that green shimmer has given my eyes a little bit. So I'm actually gonna put the white matte shade in my inner tear ducts. So sometimes matte shades in the inner corner looks really, really nice. Why I don't ever do. So let's just see what kind of vibe we're gonna get. Oh, she's a bit shy. Hello? Hello, hun? She's not saying nothing to me. Hi, hello. Yeah. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in with the same green and then the second green on my lower lash line. Okay, so those are the eyes semi done, so I'm gonna tie them up a little bit more, think of a lip combo. Obviously it's gonna be nude, like I'm definitely not gonna put no green lipstick on because I actually don't have a green lipstick. Okay, so the lashes are on. I used the same lashes from the first palette, which is the Eyelaw in collaboration the Plastic Boy, and it's the style Bad and Bougie. So now I think I'm gonna go for this lip combo. Hopefully it will work. This is actually the Caramel Trio from Morphe. So I'm going to use the lip liner in the shade Trendsetter, and then the matte lipstick is called Boo, and then I'm going to use the gloss that comes with the trio, which is called Chill. But yeah, so that is the full look using the, what's this one called again? Billie, the Billie palette. And once again, this is what she looks like. I just feel like there's a little bit of a hit and miss with these. The matte shades in this palette are more powdery and a little bit more fallout, which usually that doesn't really tend to bother me as long as the pigmentation is there. But I was quite disappointed with the white shade because off camera I literally had to reapply that white shade, and she still is very, very faint. Definitely not the most pigmented white I've come across. You could probably even tell by me just watching it. She's not really that pigmented. I love these green shimmers. They're beautiful, absolutely stunning. I love the two shades and the undertones in each shimmer. This shimmer shade, the Duochrome one, is a really nice, beautiful duochrome shadow. But because it's not putty, but it's quite crumbly, so when you do apply it with a brush, it will literally fall on your face in chunks. So I'll probably heavily advise to do your eyes before your base. Highly suggest to put some sort of base down, so once it sticks better, and 2, less fallout, and then 3, there's a little bit of a base so you don't see your natural skin peeking through the actual eyeshadow itself. I do like the fact that it has 3 mattes, but I wish they replaced the white one with like another green, especially when the white's not really giving me the vibe, you know. However, I do kind of like my look though. The green, I love greens in general. Those that's been asking for the green look, your girl is here now with the green look. Now I'm going to wipe this off, and then we're going to get down to the last and final palette. Could you imagine if I was doing all 8 palettes in this video? You must, I'm mad. But we're going to get down to the last and the final palette, which is the Fallen Angel shadow palette. Right, so we are down to the last palette. Please excuse my base, like my base is now jacked up, I'm not gonna lie, but I know you guys would understand because the focus is on the eyes, so just excuse what the base is looking at the moment. But we are finally down to the last palette. I don't know why I decided to do this to myself as someone that doesn't like eyeshadows. I don't know why I done that. No one did ask for this, like, I don't understand. Okay, so if you guys do hear a little bit of noise, little man has decided to wake up a little bit earlier from his nap. But, so yeah, he's gonna be laying right next to me. This is the mama life, you know? So the Fallen Angel palette looks very similar in terms of the texture and the finish of the neutral palette, where it's a little bit matte, but you do see a little bit of a shine here. And this is what the palette looks like. Now, I think a lot of you guys wanted to see the blue palette, but was skeptical about it because she looks ashy. And I'm not gonna lie, she does give me a little bit of ashy vibes. It's not really looking the way I want it to look, you know? And I love me some blues, but when I think of blue palettes that I feel like will complement dark skin, I think of the blue palettes out of the Book of Magic palette from Beauty Bay, like cobalt blues and navy blues. This is something that will work. So these are the swatches, and I'm not gonna lie guys, I'm actually slightly disappointed. Like this blue one is just a standard shimmer, which is nice. These two are shimmers and they literally look identical. I don't see any difference with the undertone. So on my skin complexion, it literally looks exactly the same. That is like once again, a very shy off grayish white shade. So I don't even know why she's even there. That's the only sort of duochrome shade in the palette, which is very pretty. And then that's the matte. So this one only has 2 mattes and the rest of them are shimmers. Like, I understand silver would be in a blue palette because blues are like, you know, cool tones. So I wouldn't expect golds. But I just don't know why they will waste 2 shimmer shades that look exactly the same. And this shade, especially when there's only 2 mattes. So what am I supposed to do? Like, what am I actually supposed to do? I don't have no confidence in this look whatsoever. I think I might have to do another halo, you know. Chop. Just ruined my vibe. Okay, I'm gonna blend this out. See what we can do. This boy's literally got his foot on me, you know. Sigh. I'm gonna go into this light shade. See if that blends out. I just decided to really drag up this eyeshadow up to here because whatever I do, it's just not gonna look cute, you know, not the way I want it to look anyway. And then I'm just mixing a little bit of the cloudy blue white shade and just focusing that on my inner corner. Okay, so now I look dusty, but anyway, now I'm just gonna use my fluffy brush and just blend that. I need it to make sense, even though right now it's not making sense. Don't judge me. So I'm just going to use, I don't know, man. I'm just so angry with the white one. Doesn't make a difference which one because they're basically the same anyway. So do I keep it in the center? That's the question. But it is a nice shimmer shade. Like, it applies really, really nicely with the brush. But I think that's what I'm gonna do, you know. Do you see, can you tell by my energy I've given up? I'm literally just like, you know what? Bun this. If you guys could, can you not see all this fallout on my face? Yes, baby? Yes? Yeah. If you guys could see all this fallout, like, literally, no. I think I was trying to go for that whole sort of dramatic cat eye with just using one shadows type of look, because that's all I can think of. Okay, so the lashes are on. Now, I can't remember the style of them. They're definitely from Doll Beauty. I've become that girl now. I've become that woman where I have so many lashes and I don't put them in the correct cases. I then forget what style they are. So if I can remember, I will link it in the description box below. But yeah, so this is the blue, the Smurf, the look, Obviously, I'm going to use my Morphe lip liner in the shade Trendsetter. I think I'm going to go in for the Huda Beauty matte lipstick in the shade Interview. Obviously, you guys know I love a gloss, so I'm going to actually use the Beauty Bay gloss in the shade Mocha, which is like a cool tone nudie brownish pink. Oh yeah, this goes, oh, this smells really nice. I actually forget how nice these are. Okay, so my eyes are starting to water a little bit. So if you do see a little disturbance in my inner corner, it's literally because of that. But to be fair, I think my eyes are at the point where they're just like, okay girl, can you just stop? We're tired now. Like, can you just stop? But anyway, this is the palette. So I just want to show you guys, you know, I'm hoping that it does pick up on camera, but you see all those little white specks residue all over the palette. That's literally from the fallout of this shadow shade here. So there is quite a lot of fallout. Besides, obviously, I had a little bit of a hiccup of what look I'm gonna do. Then little baby Sai woke up and just having a brain fart moment. I do like these shades. I actually do, but I just feel like these shades in a 6-pan palette is just not enough. It's too icy, too ashy, very similar. I just feel like it was just a wasteful palette because this could have so much potential. If they had a dark blue, still have that sky blue, you know, a silver shimmer, but then other under blue tones as well, it would have been so much better. That is just a waste of a shade. That is also the waste of a shade because them two look exactly identical. And yeah, I was just really disappointed because I do love me some blues, but this is a palette that you would need to use it with another palette, personally for me, especially if you're someone that's a beginner like myself and you don't feel confident to do like the editorial sort of, you know, Instagram or model looks where you could just slap one eyeshadow on your eye and look good. But yeah, I'm a little bit disappointed with this one. So if I should run it down overall in which one are my favorite, it's literally by the order that I've tested out these palettes. The Heartless palette is my absolute favorite. The tones, the shades, the formulas, the shimmers. Only knockoff is only 2 mattes, not 3, but this was a very beautiful palette. Secondly, the pink one, she was cute. Brittany was giving me a little cute vibe. And then the green one was okay, could have been better. Don't like that white matte shade. And then my least favorite is obviously the blue one. So if you're my skin twin, girl, don't get Fallen Angel. Don't get Fallen Angel. I don't know what the other palettes are like, but they wasn't really screaming out to me. Dynamite was a bit of me. Those really warm tones, orangey shades, beautiful, but she only had one matte, and I was just like, what the backside. But yeah, in general, with the whole idea with these mini flex palettes, they do give me a bit of a Juvia's Place vibe. I do like the concept of them. Hopefully you guys really enjoyed this video and it helped you out as well. Please give me a big thumbs up. Your girl is suffering, and you know, as much as this was fun, this was very long to film, so I really appreciate if you guys give this video a thumbs up and leave in a comment which one is your favorite palettes of the ones that I've personally played around today, or if you've got any of the palettes as well, let me know. Thank you so much for all the love and support, and I would love to see you guys in my next video. Bye.
And boom, that on the tune like big up my sister.